Welcome back to Jersey Matters. Obesity is a national epidemic. We spoke to one New Jersey man who says he saved his life by taking control of his weight problem, and now he's an advocate to try to save the lives of others. Here is Jason Krynicki, who wrote an editorial for NJ.com titled, "Treatment for Obesity Saved My Life." Hey, thanks so much for spending some time to talk with us. Let's start off with talking about the editorial. Why did you feel the need to write it?
Because obesity is a disease. There's 93 million Americans affected with obesity. With the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act, it's giving access to care that people are on Medicare, and it's giving access that obesity is a disease, and it's time for Congress and the American people to realize that obesity is a disease. I'm a person living with obesity, and enough is enough. And doctors and healthcare professionals slam the doors on people living with obesity, and it's a time to treat obesity like it is a disease, but it's time for everybody to act and treat it like a disease. Because
your story is compelling, and your story leads you to be an advocate in this. Could you tell it?
Yes. My father died at the age of 50. I was falling down all his footsteps. My mother actually went and bought me a grave plot at Ocean County Memorial Park. She didn't want to bury her only son.
She was worried because you were obese.
Yes, I was 267 pounds, heavy smoker. I had all the comorbidities like my father had. I had sleep apnea, and my mother didn't want to bury her only son. So to get me motivated, she actually bought me a grave plot to maybe help me get the help that I need. And when the mail came in, the Ocean County Memorial Park mailer came into the mailbox, it was a wake-up call for me, because I didn't want her to bury her only son. And she was there for me from day in to day out. She was there with me.
Yeah. And so what happened next? What did you do?
I went and sought help, and I actually had a primary care doctor basically tell me, "You're fat, lose weight, go to the gym." I was asking help. She wouldn't help me that I was obese. She didn't care. So I went to another primary care doctor, and she said, your heart is it's about to explode if you don't get any help. So I decided to get help. I saw a doctor, met with him and his team, and they understood obesity. And it was the best thing I ever did in my life.
Everybody's going to want to know how you did it. How did you lose the weight?
Determination. I listened to my doctors, my primary care, and now I work for a practice that I am motivated to help patients, get them approved for surgery. I'm always telling the patients, I am a patient. I'm an advocate. I will get you through the surgery. Just look at me. And if you take what the doctors and the dietitians tell you, you'll have success like I did.
Do you believe that the society doesn't take obesity seriously enough?
Yeah.
There seems to be, there's a pushback there's cries of fat shaming, and we're seeing plus size models now in all of the magazine. It seems to me that society is accepting those who are overweight.
They are. But then you have the healthcare providers, and you have people that like to fat shame. I mean, I was fat shamed my whole entire life. Stop making fun of somebody that is obese, because we have feelings. And when you call somebody a fat whale and make fun of them, I've been called every name: fat whale, big boy, tease. I mean, I back when I was teased, I almost committed suicide, because it affects your emotions of people teasing you.
Right. So talk about this legislation. Does it have any chance?
We need Frank Pallone, Congressman Frank Pallone, he's the head of the Energy and Commerce Committee. It's been sitting in his committee for a couple, since they reintroduced it this past session. It needs to pass. It gives the people access to care. It would save Medicare money. Medicare is the big head honcho when it comes to healthcare. When Medicare changes their policy, then all the other insurance companies will follow suit. if there's medicine out there for people living with obesity that would be covered by Medicare if Medicare got out of the 1920s or 1930s and understood that obesity is a disease. They'll cover a patient that's diabetes on a medicine, but not for obesity. So
right. And obesity, if you count it as a contributing factor to other diseases, it's probably the leading cause of death in the country.
Yes, and I mean, if you look at COVID-19, people with obesity is a comorbidity with COVID-19, and people are dying with COVID-19 because of obesity. So, I mean, Congress needs to act. I mean, I've met with Senator Cory Booker's office several times. We need him to back this legislation. We need Chris Smith. I met Chris Smith. We need all the New Jersey delegations to back this bill, and Congressman Pallone to push this through this year.
How can people help? They can contact their congressman?
They could contact their congressman, Frank Pallone, Chris Smith. They could also go on to Obesity Action Coalition that I'm also a member with, and you could push through the legislation through that. Anything helps. Congress needs to act now because it needs to pass finally and gives the access to care to people living with obesity.
Well, good luck to you and God bless you. I love the editorial. I think it's an extremely important cause, and there couldn't be a better advocate. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jason Krynicki, advocate in the fight against obesity. Next on Jersey Matters.
I'm Phil Anderson. Coming up on Jersey Matters, the cleanup continues here in Mullica Hill following that devastating tornado that touched down here 2.5 weeks ago.